Welcome, Veronica, to our North Jersey Blues Society interview with you, and I'm going to hand it over to John Muller to kick it off.
All right, cool. This is very cool. I got a few questions, and I heard some stories. I just want to go back into some things. You said you started performing at the age of 6. The story that I've heard, the story that I've read, your parents found a broken down piano in an old barn, and they I guess they must have fixed it up and used it. But I'm just wondering, at 6 years old, how did you know, that you could play the way you are now? Did you have something? Did you have some kind of talent then? Was there some spark that said, "Oh, this is gonna, it was just gonna happen like this"? I'm just wondering how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, music, from all different genres has always been a big part of my life, and as long as I can remember, that's all I want to do, and that's what I'm really really passionate about is writing music and playing it, and yeah.
Is that story true? They found the piano in the barn?
Yeah, we found it on Craigslist, and it was in great shape, but they were just trying to get rid of it, and we kind of rescued it from this barn, and we brought it home, and the name Margaret is inscribed on the front of it. We don't know who Margaret is, but she became my best friend when I was really little, and that's the first and only piano I've ever had. So really special that I was able to have my sound engineer Ben Rogers come over to my house back before the pandemic and record on Margaret. So yeah, you can hear her on 3 of the songs on the album.
Yeah, and we're with Ben right now in the studio. Loud Sun Studio.
That's pretty amazing. So even at the age of 6, you had this talent where you could play like that, the way you are. You had an inkling of things to come. There was something that was there.
I mean, I definitely was have grown a lot. I'll just say that. I mean, listening
Somebody
back.
called you a prodigy, so I'm just wondering when the talent actually emerged, because I've heard the name prodigy every time you're described. I see an interview that she's a prodigy, and I'm like, when did it bloom? When did it come out? I mean,
Oh, geez. I mean, it's hard for me to even consider myself that at all. But I was, I mean, I think for me, I think it became more serious when I was around like 13, 14, when I started really writing full songs and singing. So I had full lyrics and, full arrangements. So that, that for me that's when I started more professionally performing, and definitely more, that's kind of for me when it really started to pick up.
Yeah, I would say the teenage years are definitely way more relevant.
Yeah, that was my next question, because I had this. I saw this on YouTube the other day, and I was really struck by this. At the age of 12 years old, all right, I know what I was doing at 12, and it wasn't this. Okay, so at the age of 12 years old, you performed at the Tupelo Music Hall in New Hampshire. 12 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you travel to Memphis, and you wind up on Beale Street and perform at Silky O'Sullivan's, a blues club on Beale Street in Memphis. But you're 12 years old. So how did that what was that like for you at 12 years old? You're playing at a music hall in New Hampshire, and you wind up on Beale Street in Memphis playing it at a blues club.
Yeah, that was all through the Granite State Blues Challenge, where I competed and I won, and I represented New Hampshire as the youth blues musician back when I was 12 and 13, and that I had the opportunity to play at Tupelo and some really great venues around New Hampshire, and then of course go down to Memphis, and definitely extremely grateful to the Granite State Blues Society. They really helped kind of put a lot of belief and support in me, and it was just, I really am so appreciative of them. They're awesome.
What was it like at 12 years old being on the stage on Beale Street? I mean, the heart of the legendary Beale Street, the heart of the blues, because you got to see Beale Street. I had a different experience with Beale Street back in the 80s. But when the Beale Street that I saw back in the 80s when I first went to Memphis, it was the old Beale Street. Memphis was just coming back from a deep depression. So I didn't see any of what's there the past 15 years or so. So when you get down to Beale Street, I mean, it's bustling. It's once again, it's the heart of the blues. And you're 12 years old and you're playing at a blues club. I mean, that must have been phenomenal. I can't imagine that.
Incredibly inspiring. I had the chance to go down to Memphis. I think was it 4 or 5 years in a row, and 2020 was the last year that I competed and was in the International Blues Challenge. And Mike Walsh, my drummer, came down with me, and that was with the Boston Blues Society. So Memphis has been a really big part of my musical journey, since from 12 to, 16. So, a lot of songs came out of that time, and a ton of experience as a performer came out of all those great, times down there.
Then the story's even better though. It's not so much that you played Beale Street. I'm listening to this interview that you did, and then it blows my mind. Not only do you go to Memphis and you play on Beale Street, you wind up at Jerry Lee Lewis's living room, playing on Jerry Lee Lewis's piano in his living room at 12 years old. Of course, Jerry wasn't there. I had the same experience when I went to Memphis. We went to a festival that was in honor of Jerry Lee Lewis, and he didn't show up. He stayed at his condo in Memphis. He never came to the festival, but I was there. So I had the same experience that he wasn't there. But how did you wind up at 12 years old? You're in Jerry Lee Lewis's living room playing on Jerry Lee Lewis's piano. I was like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah, we connected with his son, Jerry Lee Lewis III, and he's amazing, and he let us come and tour the ranch, and then I got the chance to play on his piano, on Jerry's piano, which is pretty crazy moment for sure.
I can't even imagine what that was like.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
been
was
to the
amazing.
ranch.
Yeah, we went all over the house. All his gold records were hanging up in the living room, and all of his clothes, and it was just really really cool place. Really great vibes there.
Because when I was there in the 80s, when Memphis was just coming back, Memphis was pretty much a train wreck. It was just coming back from a bad depression. So the city was a mess. And Beale Street was just being developed. But they had like I said, they had a big, huge party for Jerry Lewis on his ranch. And it was part of the Elvis Tribute Week. So everybody was going down there, assuming that Jerry Lee would be there. But as it turned out, he didn't. But a lot of musicians played. It was a whole big day festival to honor him. But then it turned out that we found out later he stayed in his condo. It was too hot, he said. So he stayed in his condo in Memphis. So when I was hoping to see him, and I brought records to get signed, and I was hoping to run into him, but I never did. So, but that's pretty amazing that you were playing his piano in his living room, and you got a tour of his house.
Yeah, I played the song that I kind of wrote for him, "Ode to Jerry Lee," and that's on the album too. So pretty cool moment. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're 19 years old now.
Yes, I just turned 19.
You just turned 19. And somebody described you as an old soul. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
I don't even know. I mean, I
mean,
definitely.
you know what? Like I told your mom, you're a lot. It's hard for me to believe when I see you that you're 19 years old. Because it's the way you perform and the way you play. It's you've got, I know seasoned musicians that don't play like that, but you're way beyond 19 years old when you see you perform. So.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's just I guess just kind of who I am. I can find a lot to appreciate in modern music as well. And but something so real and authentic about music from, 50s and 60s, and kind of that early rock and roll, roots rock and roll. That's what really got me excited about playing music and becoming a songwriter and a performer. So that always has the biggest place in my heart.
Well, when you and I met during the pandemic, and I asked Shamika Copeland the same question a few weeks ago. As bad as the pandemic was, and as bad as the shutdown was, and the music industry was devastated, do you think there was some spark of good that came out of that, even though the music business and the artists, everything was in the shambles? Because I don't think that people would have been discovered the way they were if it hadn't been for people being stuck on their computers, their laptops, their devices, checking out music on the internet. I asked Shamika the same thing. I think it helped as much as it hurt. I think it helped in a way. I was just wondering what you thought about that, because I found you on the internet.
Right. You're right.
Blues started on the internet as a platform for artists to help them during the pandemic. And we had a lot of people like you on the show, and we had people from all over the world on the show. And I met you and Ken Valdez and Meg Williams and Eliza Niels and so many other people through the internet that I never would have found had I been just in ordinary times. You know, I'm reading the magazine or I'm watching TV or listening to the radio. I don't think people would have discovered as many people as they did. I was just wondering what you thought about that, because as much as it hurt people, I think there was a spark of hope, of help there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pandemic, we're still coming out of it, and it was a really tough time for everybody. So it was a really intense time. Uh, you know, Something like that, it can be hard to find things to be grateful to
Yeah.
find light in that darkness. But one of the things I was gonna say was "Can't Stop the Blues." I think we all, I was able to connect with people all over the world online, and that was something that we were really pushed to do, which was really connect online and across all the world. And "Can't Stop the Blues" and Karen Gottmeyer, she everybody involved in "Can't Stop the Blues," everybody who would come on to watch, like yourself, John, uh, that was one thing that I was really, grateful for, was connecting with everyone online and doing "Can't Stop the Blues" streamathons.
Because it just struck me the other day, I asked Shamika this too, because music business has changed because of the pandemic, basically. And as bad as it was, and I was right in the middle of it with "Can't Stop the Blues," I got to be part of the show. I'm grateful to Karen and Judy and Elle and Kat and everybody and Daryl for that. But as bad as it was, I think the help that it gave people, it brought them out and then made people aware of people that they have bands and singers and other musicians that they never would have got to see, because people were stuck inside and stuck on their devices, and they were checking people out. I mean, "Can't Stop the Blues" at one point was 7 days a week, and that wasn't the only feed I was watching. I mean, we were going, one night you'd be watching Roses in Chicago, and you'd be going to Ground Zero Blues Club down in Memphis, and flying, you'd be going, and then there people like you would crop up, and that's how I found you.
Yeah,
I found,
amazing. Yeah.
so I think it's as bad as it was. I think there was something good that came out of it, because I think a lot of people got recognition that they never would have gotten had it been for something like that. And I was grateful for that, because that's how I met you. And
Yeah.
that's how I met so many other people that I've been in touch with now for over the past 3 years. So it's.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, I got a question for you. While you were doing all this, you were making your videos, you were doing your performances on the weekends and at night, during the evenings, you're doing your recording sessions, but you were still going to high school. And I think I've asked you this before. I asked your mom, what was it like as you going to high school and dealing with all the success that you were starting to have? I mean, did the students have any ideas of what was going on with you? Did they know? Did they see things and know what was happening? I mean, you got to go to school and you were trying to be a normal high school student. Meanwhile, your career was starting to skyrocket and take off.
I mean, I barely knew what was happening. I was so busy. I was just keeping my head really down into, all the work at school and the performances and writing songs. I think when I was at home during, the 2020, 2021, and that was really when I was able to really connect with everybody who was supporting and loving my music.
Well, how was it like going to school? I mean, you got your typical teenage high school student, but yet on the outside of that, you had this career that was just taking off. You're getting critical acclaim from critics. They were writing you up in magazines. You're on videos. You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram. You're on the social media, and then the buzz is building. Veronica Lewis, the buzz is building. Meanwhile, you're going to school like an ordinary high school student. It was like Clark Kent working at the Daily Planet. It's like she's one person over here, and she's another person over here, but you still have to have an ordinary life. So I just wonder how it all worked out with you, going to high school like that. I don't know how
Yeah,
you.
it was cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was so busy, but there was a couple times that were pretty cool where, like, songs would be on the radio and my friends would come in like, "Oh my God, we heard you on the radio." Like I didn't even know that was happening, and they would come in and say they heard it, last night. So that was cool moments like that, where I was able to really celebrate, together with my friends and people at school. So that was really fun and cool.
Yeah, I just find it hard. I don't know how you did it. I think a lot of credit to your mom and your dad and your family for bringing you along like that, because I mean, you had to go, you were going to school as a high school student. Here you are 12, 13, 14, all the way up until the age, you graduated, and you're dealing with high school. I know how that is because, Alana just graduated from high school, and then you got to deal with that. And then on top of that, you have a career outside of that. That's the music business. And, things are just starting to take off. So if I found it fascinating, I'd just give you all a lot of credit for being able to pull that off. Well, now you do blues roots, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, and so much more. And how would you describe how would you describe your music to people?
Yeah, I mean it's evolving, I think its roots, it's roots of American music, and it's blues. It's 100% me, it's 100% Veronica
Yeah.
Lewis, I guess. That's the best way I can categorize it. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of writing, and I'm working on the new music right now. So I can't wait for everyone to hear the new stuff too.
What brought you to boogie woogie piano? Because you're 12 years old, you're playing boogie woogie piano. That's not typical teenage music that,
Yeah, I mean that early rock and roll piano, that was
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, they were the pioneers of rock and rock piano, that's what got me excited about playing piano as an instrument. Just watching their videos on YouTube and listening to their music. It was just really exciting, I mean, Jerry Lee Lewis, he was one of the first people to bring the piano up to the front of the stage and make it something new and invigorating, and he lit it on fire. He kicked that bench right away, and I was sold. I was, where do I sign? Like, that is the perfect thing for me. I was
Yeah.
it was such a fun thing to listen to and watch, and even more fun to play, and I just having a blast every second, honestly.
I was just wondering how you found, how did you fall into that music? Because it's not typical teenage music. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I listened to a lot of stuff. I mean, my whole life listened to, modern stuff and, stuff from, the 50s and 60s. I guess I just kept getting pulled back to that music because it was so different and so unique. Yeah.
I'd love to see you and Mitch Woods play together sometime. That would, you and Mitch or Marcia, well, we told Mitch this. We told when you first started to come out, when Mitch used to play on Can't Stop the Lose, I told Mitch, I said, you and Veronica Lewis got to play. He knew who you were because he'd seen you on video and he'd seen you. So he knew who you were. And we told him that. I said, Mitch, you got to hook up with this girl and play with her, because that's one concert I would definitely pay to see. Or you and Marcia Ball cranking out together. I'd pay money to see that without any problem.
Oh, geez. Yeah. They're the best. Yeah. Oh my God.
I would be like one of the first people in line. And, it's like, okay, yeah.
Oh man, you're the best.
Because
John.
Mitch has a style all his own too, just like you do. And Mitch is a real boogie woogie rock and roll piano player, and he's incredible on stage. The two of you playing together would be unbelievable. It'd be that's what he said too. I told him this. We talked about this, and he said he would look forward to it someday to get the two of you perform on stage together, because it would rock. Well, now you're in front of thousands of people. I've been watching the videos all summer, and I felt bad that I wasn't even there, because some of them were near my home. But of course, I'm laid up with the knee. So, but I'm watching them, and some of them, like, there's thousands of people watching you play, and it's electrifying. It's just amazing. How do you feel when you're up there in front of all those people? I mean, the energy must transfer from you to them and then back to you. How does it feel to be up there doing that? I mean, as young as you are, and you're in front of thousands of people up there on the stage, and you're just pulling it off like that. How do you feel? I mean,
there's nothing like it. I mean, it's especially after the pandemic, there's something really special about being together with, everybody in the audience, and, just connecting in that moment with the same music, and everyone's experiencing the same thing at the same time. And that's everything when you can kind of share that energy with together. Like Rhythm and Roots we just did on the 5th, and that was crazy. That was an amazing festival. Briggs Farm Fest. I mean, all the festivals, Fargo Blues Fest. We've done a lot of festivals, and my band and I can't wait for Morristown Jazz and Blues. It's gonna be quite a rocking good time.
September 17th, Morristown. You got invited to play, which I'm thrilled at, because you only played New Jersey once. That was this summer. You filled in. You got lucky, and I was happy that you got there, because it was weird watching your schedule, because you'd play like Pennsylvania and Delaware or something, but there was like no New Jersey dates. It was like you'd skip the whole state. So then when you played down in South Jersey, I was like, oh wow, and I got the word out there, and people were like excited. And then when we talked to Don about, you playing, when we got the word you were playing at Morristown, I was just like stunned, because he knew who you were and he got you to play there. So I was thrilled. And then not only that, you're playing first, and then Walter Trotter's playing right after you. So it's a double whammy, it's like double, it's electrifying, the two of you at the same time at the same place. Well, what can we expect in Morristown? I mean, I can't wait. I told your mother last night when I talked to her, I've been looking forward to this for months. I can't wait for this.
Oh my
So-
God. Well, so have I. I can't wait to see you and see everyone there. And yeah, my band and I, Mike Walsh on drums, Joel Edinburgh on saxophone, Brad Dubé on guitar. They're going to be joining me. We have a lots of new songs we're going to be doing,
Great.
unreleased stuff, special just for you guys, and a 90-minute set. So it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay, we're all looking forward to it. And the Blues Society is gonna be there. The first time at the festival, I've been going for years. The first time the festival is gonna have a Blues Society representative. So North Jersey Blues Society is
Mhm.
really lucky to be part of it, and we're grateful to be part of it. And we're happy that we worked it out, that we can all be there. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a good time. So when you're in the studio, last question, I know you gotta go. So you're in the studio right now. I know your mom said you're gonna be working on studio time all week before you come to Morristown. So what can we expect in the future? Your mother said you have enough material to write 2 new albums.
Yeah, I've been busy. It's a lot of fun to get back in the studio and working on stuff. It's gonna be obviously roots music at the heart of it, and just want to show how I've grown as a songwriter and as a player and as a person with the new music. So I just if I could, I'd start sharing the new music today, but we just gotta finish it up in the studio, and it'll be coming at you as soon as we can.
Great.
Oh, I can't wait. Chris,
Yeah.
do you want to say anything?
I just want to thank you very much for your time, Veronica, and we are so looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you guys so much, Christine and John. You're the best. Anytime I want to talk, and you guys are awesome. Here, I'll pop on the video for like the last few seconds here. Yeah, no, this is a lot of fun. Yeah,
Hi.
it's good. The internet,
Hey, Nance.
it held up for us. But thank you, and this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy interviews and stuff. So
No,
yeah.
thanks for taking the time. I know you guys are busy. And I
yeah,
know-
anything for you guys for
and
more.
it's
I
really-
know New Jersey. We've been dying to get down to New Jersey, and like, oh, we're gonna have to make it a regular stop now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
None of
told
this
your mom
2
that.
times a year stuff. We got to get down there more often.
Oh, congratulations on the new management too, by the way. I talked to
Oh,
mom.
thanks. Yeah. Mint Talent Group. Michael's the best. Intrepid was amazing, and it was the right, time. Everything worked out really well. So yeah.
Yeah,
we're
congratulations on the new management. I know you're gonna go far with that. So that's great news.
Yeah, we're excited to book with them. So they're gonna crush it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
good luck. All right, we'll see you guys on Saturday then.
All right,
Yeah.
bye
see you
guys, see you
soon.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great week. Thanks for taking
You
the
too. Have a
time.
great week.
All right, good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
John.